The storm hit without warning. Sand and wind howled across the desert like an angry beast. Taiho stood at the window of Last Hope Station, watching the red dust cloud swallow everything. He had lived alone here for 5 years. He liked it that way. No people meant no problems. His sensors beeped. Something was out there in the storm. Something big. Taiho checked the screen. A ship. No, not a ship. An escape pod. It was falling fast, spinning out of control. He watched it crash just outside his station. Taiho grabbed his coat and mask. Going out in this storm was stupid, but leaving someone to die was worse. He pushed through the door, fighting against the wind. Sand hit his mask like tiny bullets. He could barely see 3 feet ahead. The pod was half buried in sand. Its metal was hot and twisted. Taiho pulled at the emergency release. Once, twice. Finally, it opened with a hiss. Inside was a woman. She was young, maybe in her 20s. She wore strange armor covered with feathers and beads. Blood ran down her face. Taiho lifted her carefully. She was light but strong. He could see muscles under her armor. This was no ordinary traveler. He carried her back to the station step by heavy step. The wind tried to knock him down, but Taiho had been a soldier once. He knew how to fight. Inside, he laid her on his medical table. He removed her armor piece by piece. Underneath, she wore a black suit made of material he did not recognize. It moved like water. High-tech stuff. Very expensive. Very military. He cleaned her wounds and wrapped her head. She had a broken rib, maybe 2, but she would live. Taiho looked at her face. She had strong features, dark eyes that stayed closed. Her hands had calluses from weapons. This woman was a fighter. Taiho went to check her pod. The outside looked bad, but that was from the crash. Inside was different. The controls were intact. They had military encryption codes. This was no accident. Someone had blown up her ship. She had escaped just in time. He went back inside. The woman was awake. Her eyes were open, watching him. Her hand moved fast, reaching for a weapon that was not there. Taiho raised his hands. Easy, he said. You are safe. I pulled you from the storm. She stared at him for a long moment. Then she relaxed a little. Where am I? Last Hope Station. Middle of nowhere on Kale 7. Taiho poured water into a cup and handed it to her. What is your name? Hyejin. She drank the water slowly. Her eyes never left his face. Thank you for saving me. What happened to your ship? Bad jump. Engine failed. She said it quickly. Too quickly. It was a lie. Taiho nodded but said nothing. Let her keep her secrets. When the storm passed, she would leave. That was fine with him. He went to make food while she rested. 3 hours later, Hyejin sat at his table. She moved carefully because of her ribs, but she did not complain. Taiho gave her soup and bread. She ate like a soldier. Fast and efficient. You live alone? She asked. Yes. That must be lonely. I like it. Hyejin smiled a little. Then she saw the medals on his wall. Old military awards. Her eyes went wide. She stood up and walked to them. Her finger traced one of the medals. The Ghost of Titan, she said softly. I know this medal. Only one person has it. She turned to look at him. You are Taiho Kang. Taiho said nothing. The name belonged to someone else. Someone from a long time ago. Everyone in the fleet knows your story, Hyejin continued. You held off 30 enemy ships at Titan Station. Alone. You saved thousands of people. I also watched my entire squadron die, Taiho said quietly. All 12 ships. Good pilots. Good people. They died while I lived. They died so others could live, Hyejin said. That is what soldiers do. Which is why I am not a soldier anymore. Taiho turned away. Rest now. When the storm clears, I will help you repair your pod. But Hyejin did not move. My pod cannot be repaired. And I did not crash here by accident. Taiho stopped. He turned back slowly. What do you mean? Hyejin took a deep breath. My name is Hyejin. I am scout infiltrator with the Apache integration fleet. 3 weeks ago, I was deep undercover on a Velrothi border world. They are planning to invade human space. All of it. I stole their plans. But they found me. They killed my entire unit. 8 good warriors died getting me out. And you came here? You brought them to my door? I came here because of you, Hyejin said. She met his eyes. The Velrothi are not like anything we have fought before. They are faster, smarter, more brutal. 3 of their ships have been following me across 3 systems. I tried everything to lose them. But they kept coming. So you led them here. I led them to the one pilot who might understand what we are facing. Hyejin pulled something from her pocket, a small data chip. This contains everything. Their fleet positions, their attack plans, when they will strike, where. Admiral Minho Park needs this information. Millions of lives depend on it. Taeho looked at the chip. Such a small thing. Send it over the network. I cannot. It has quantum encryption and needs 2 codes to unlock. One is tied to my DNA. The other is with Admiral Park. Only he can open it. I have to deliver it personally, then call for help. The fleet will send someone. The fleet is 3 systems away. Fighting. They cannot reach us in time. Hyejin stepped closer. The Velrathi will find me. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe in a few days. But they will come. And when they do, I need to be ready to run. I need a pilot. I need you. Taeho shook his head. I do not fly anymore. You flew once, Hyejin said. To save people. This is the same thing. No, this is war, and I am done with war. Hyejin was quiet for a moment. Then she nodded. I understand. You gave everything already. You lost people you cared about. I will not ask you to lose more. She walked to the window. Outside, the storm still raged. But you should know something. The Velrathi do not just attack soldiers. Their invasion plans target civilians first. Refugee centers, hospitals, schools, they want to break our will to fight. They think we are weak because we care about each other. Taeho felt something cold in his chest. They would attack civilians? First thing, they see our compassion as weakness. They are wrong. But many will die before they learn that. Hyejin touched the window. I will leave when the storm passes. Maybe I can steal a transport. Maybe I can outrun them, but probably not. And when I die, this data dies with me, and millions of people will never know what is coming. She turned back to face him. I did not come here to make you fight. I came here because I hoped. I hoped the ghost of Titan was still in there somewhere. I hoped wrong. I am sorry. Taeho stared at the floor. He thought about all those people. Children in schools. Families in hospitals. They did not know what was coming. They could not protect themselves. Someone had to warn them. Someone had to fight. He looked up at Hyejin. She stood straight despite her wounds. Strong, brave, just like his old squadron. They had fought to protect people. They had died for that. Was their sacrifice meaningless if he did nothing now? My ship, he said slowly. The Defiant Echo, it is in the hangar. I have not flown it in 5 years. Hyejin's eyes brightened with hope. It needs repairs, Taeho continued, and it will take both of us to fly it through a Velrathi blockade. Can you handle weapons and navigation? Hyejin smiled. It was the first real smile he had seen from her. I was trained since I was 10 years old. My people do not just fight on the ground. We fight everywhere, in any way we must. Then we have work to do, Taeho said. The storm will last another 12 hours. After that, the Velrathi will come. We need to be ready. Hyejin nodded. They spent the next hour going over plans. Taeho showed her the station's defenses. They were not much, but they might buy some time. Hyejin showed him her equipment. Her weapons were strange but effective. Energy tomahawks. Smart arrows that could change direction in flight. A suit that could turn invisible. My people fought for centuries, Hyejin explained. We learned to use every advantage. Old ways and new technology. Together they make us strong. Taeho understood. His squadron had been like that. Different people with different skills, working together. He had forgotten how that felt. How good it was to trust someone else. As they worked, Taeho realized something. He was not afraid. For 5 years he had lived in fear. Fear of failing again. Fear of watching people die. But now, facing real danger, he felt calm. This was what he was made for. Not hiding, fighting. The storm began to die down. Through the window, they could see stars appearing. And far above, 3 small lights that did not move like stars. Ships. Waiting. They are here. Hyejin said quietly. Yes, Taeho agreed. They are here. And they are about to learn something important. What is that? Taeho looked at her and smiled. It felt strange. He had not smiled in a long time. They are about to learn that humans do not give up. We do not surrender, and we protect our own, Hyejin smiled back. Then let us show them. Outside, the 3 ships began to descend. The hunt was beginning. But the hunters did not know they were walking into a trap. They did not know about the ghost of Titan. They did not know about the Apache warrior with secrets worth dying for. They would learn, soon. The Velrathi ships landed at dawn. Tejo watched them from the security monitors. 3 sleek vessels, black as night, with weapons that glowed red. They touched down in a triangle around the station. It was a hunting formation. Professional, efficient. How many? Yejin asked. She stood beside him, checking her weapons. 15 soldiers per ship, maybe 45 total. Tejo switched screens, plus their pilots. They are not taking chances. Good, Yejin said. That means they respect us. Tejo looked at her. You think 45 against 2 is good? She smiled. My grandmother always said the best fights are the ones where the enemy thinks they have already won. They get careless. A voice crackled over the communication system. It spoke human language, but with a strange hissing accent. Human dwelling. This is War Master Kresh of the Velrathi Imperial Fleet. We know you harbor the thief. Send her out. We will leave you unharmed. You have 1 hour. Tejo did not answer. Hyejin touched his arm. They will not leave you alive. You know that? I know. Tejo pulled up the station's defense grid. I set up the traps last night. The first wave will hit the mines. Maybe take out 10 or 15. The rest will come harder. Then we make them regret it, Hyejin said. She activated her suit. It shimmered and became nearly invisible. Only a faint outline remained. I will take the east side. You hold the north. We draw them in, hit them hard, then fall back to the hangar. You cannot fight with broken ribs, Tejo said. Watch me. The Velrathi did not wait the full hour. After 30 minutes, they attacked. The first group came from the south. They moved fast, weapons ready. Then they hit the mines. Explosions ripped through the sand. Fire and smoke filled the air. Screams followed. But the Velrathi were tough. They kept coming. Tejo opened fire from his position. His rifle was old but reliable. Each shot found its target. The aliens wore heavy armor, but Tejo knew where to aim. Joints, helmets, weak points. On the east side, Hyejin moved like a ghost. Her invisibility suit made her nearly impossible to see. She struck from behind, her energy tomahawk cutting through armor like paper. 2 Velrathi fell before the others even knew she was there. The aliens were confused. Their formation broke. They fired wildly, hitting each other in the chaos. Hyejin used their confusion. She fired her smart arrows. The arrows changed direction in midair, finding targets behind cover. The Velrathi had never seen anything like it, but War Master Kresh was no fool. He rallied his troops. Spread out! Use thermal scanners. Find them! The thermal scanners worked. They could see through Hyejin's invisibility. The aliens converged on her position. Tejo saw it on his monitor. Hyejin, fall back. They found you. Not yet, they have not. She threw something small. It exploded in a burst of light. The thermal scanners went blind. In the confusion, she ran. Fast. The Velrathi fired, but she was already gone. Tejo provided cover fire. He dropped 3 more aliens as they tried to follow her. But his position was exposed now. Plasma bolts hit the wall near his head. Time to move. He ran through the station, using paths he had memorized. Hyejin met him at the hangar entrance. They sealed the door behind them. It would not hold long, but they did not need long. The Defiant Echo sat in the center of the hangar. It looked old and worn. But Tejo knew better. Under the scarred hull was a ship built for one thing. Impossible escapes. How many did we get? Tejo asked as they ran toward the ship. Maybe 20, Hyejin said. Maybe more. Hard to count, so about 25 left. Plus Kresh. Behind them, something heavy hit the hangar door. Then again. The Velrathi were breaking through. They climbed into the ship. Tejo took the pilot's seat. His hands moved over the controls like they had never stopped. Everything came back to him. Every switch. Every button. The ship hummed to life. Hyejin strapped into the co-pilot seat. She pulled up the weapons display. These systems are old. Old but good, Tejo said. Just like me. The hangar door exploded inward. Velrathi soldiers poured through. They raised their weapons. Tejo pushed the throttle. The Defiant Echo roared forward, engines blazing. The aliens scattered. The ship burst through the hangar doors, tearing metal like paper. They shot into the sky. Plasma fire followed them. Warning lights flashed across the control panel. Tejo pulled hard on the stick. The ship rolled, dodging fire. Hyejin worked the countermeasures. Flares and chaff burst from the ship, confusing the enemy targeting systems. 2 fighters launching. Heejin called out, "I see them." Teho pushed the ship harder. They climbed fast, the ground falling away below. The Velrathi fighters followed. They were faster, newer, but Teho knew how to fly. He dove toward the asteroid field that orbited Kale 7. Thousands of rocks, big and small, spinning in the darkness. It was dangerous. Most pilots avoided it. But Teho was not most pilots. "You are going into that?" Heejin asked. "Trust me," Teho said. They plunged into the field. Asteroids filled the view screen. Teho weaved between them, his movements smooth and precise. The Velrathi fighters followed but could not match his skill. One clipped an asteroid and spun out of control. It exploded in a ball of fire. The other fighter was more careful. But careful meant slow. Heejin locked onto it. "I have him. Take the shot," she fired. Missiles streaked through space. The Velrathi pilot tried to evade, but there was nowhere to go. The missiles hit. The second fighter became debris. "Good shot," Teho said. "My grandmother taught me," Heejin replied. She said aim is everything. In war and in life, they cleared the asteroid field. Empty space stretched ahead. The jump point to Admiral Park's location was 2 days away. But first they had to survive. "Picking up something big," Heejin said. Her screen showed new contacts. Very big. A massive ship dropped out of hyperspace directly ahead. It was 10 times bigger than the Defiant Echo. Weapons covered its hull like teeth. At its center was a command tower flying a red banner. "Warmaster Kresh's flagship," Heejin said quietly. Kresh's voice came over the communication channel. "Impressive flying human. You destroyed 2 of my best pilots. But the chase ends here." Teho said nothing. He was calculating distances, speeds, angles. "Looking for a way out. You cannot escape," Kresh continued. "My ship is faster. My weapons have longer range. Surrender the thief and the data. I will make your death quick." "He sounds confident," Heejin said. "He should be," Teho replied. "He has us. Perfect ambush. He herded us right here. So what do we do?" Teho thought about his old squadron. They had faced impossible odds before. They had won by doing the unexpected, by being braver than the enemy thought possible. "You said you have experimental tech," he said. "The ghost jump drive. Does it work?" Heejin looked at him. "It has never been tested in combat. The calculations are extremely difficult. If we make one mistake, we could materialize inside an asteroid, or tear the ship apart. But it might work." "It might work," she agreed. The flagship's weapons began to glow. They were powering up a special weapon, not to destroy, to disable. Kresh wanted them alive. "How long until they fire?" Teho asked. 30 seconds, Heejin said. "Then we have 30 seconds to live or die." Teho turned to her. "Install the ghost jump drive. Connect it to my controls and your navigation computer. We are going to show these aliens something they have never seen before." Heejin pulled the device from her pack. It was small, about the size of a fist, but Teho could feel the power coming from it. This was technology beyond anything he had seen. She connected it quickly. Her fingers moved fast, typing codes into the navigation computer. "This will require perfect timing. I calculate jumps. You execute them. No hesitation. No second guessing. I trust you," Teho said. She looked surprised. "You barely know me. I know you are a warrior. I know you came here to save people." "That is enough," Heejin smiled. "My grandmother would have liked you. She always said the best people are the ones who fight when they are afraid, because that means they choose to be brave." 20 seconds, she said, watching her screen. Teho gripped the controls. He closed his eyes for just a moment. He thought of his squadron, all those brave pilots. They had trusted him. He had led them into battle. Some had died, but they had died fighting, protecting others. That meant something. 10 seconds. He opened his eyes. Fear was gone. Only focus remained. Only purpose. 5 seconds. Ghost jump drive online. Calculations ready. The flagship's weapon fired. A beam of blue energy shot toward them. "Now!" Heejin shouted. Teho activated the ghost jump. The universe twisted. For one impossible moment, they were everywhere and nowhere. Then reality snapped back. They had moved, not far, just a few kilometers, but enough. The blue beam passed through empty space where they had been. On the flagship, alarms blared. Kresh stared at his screens in disbelief. Where did they go? "Find them!" Again. Heejin called out new coordinates. Teho jumped. They appeared above the flagship, then behind it, then to the side. Each jump was unpredictable, impossible to track. The Velrothi weapons could not lock on, and with each jump Hyejin was calculating something else. A pattern. A way to turn defense into attack. I have it, she said. One more jump. Right inside their shield perimeter. We can hit their shield generators. Will the drive survive? Probably not. This will be the last jump, Taeho nodded. Then make it count. Taeho woke in a white room. Clean sheets, soft bed. The smell of medicine. He tried to sit up, but pain shot through his side. A hand gently pushed him back down. Easy, Hyejin said. You took plasma fire to the ribs. The doctors fixed you, but you need rest. He turned his head. She sat in a chair beside his bed. Her own wounds were bandaged, but she was smiling. Where are we? The AFS Geronimo, Captain Youngji's ship. We have been here 3 days. 3 days? Taeho tried to remember. The battle. The ghost jumps, broadcasting the data. Then nothing. You lost a lot of blood, Hyejin explained. But you will be fine. The doctors here are very good. The data? Did it get through? Hyejin's smile grew wider. It got through. Every human colony received it. Admiral Park already moved the fleet to defensive positions. The Velrothi wanted to surprise us. Instead, we surprised them. They retreated back to their territory. Taeho let out a breath he did not know he was holding. How many lives? The Admiral says millions. Maybe tens of millions. If the Velrothi had attacked as planned, our colonies would have been defenseless. Hospitals, schools, refugee centers, all gone. But now we were ready. We stopped them. We stopped them, Taeho repeated. It felt strange, good. For 5 years he had done nothing. Now he had saved millions. His squadron would have been proud. The door opened. A tall woman walked in. She wore the uniform of an Apache fleet captain. Her dark hair was pulled back. Her eyes were sharp and intelligent. This was someone who commanded respect. Captain Youngji, Hyejin said, standing quickly and saluting. Youngji waved her hand. At ease, Lieutenant. Or should I say, at ease while sitting. You are still recovering. She turned to Taeho. Commander Kang, it is an honor. I read about Titan Station when I was a cadet. You are a legend. I am just a mechanic now, Taeho said. A mechanic who destroyed 2 Velrothi fighters and crippled a flagship, Youngji said. Using experimental technology no one else has been brave enough to test. I would call that more than just mechanics. Taeho did not know what to say. Hyejin spoke instead. Captain, what happens now? Now we prepare, Youngji said. Her voice became serious. The Velrothi retreated, but they will come back. They are proud. They do not forgive insults, and we insulted them badly. How long do we have? Taeho asked. Months, maybe a year. They need to rebuild their invasion fleet, but they will come. And when they do, it will be worse than before. Youngji looked at both of them. Admiral Park wants to see you both. He is very interested in your story, and in your skills. 2 days later, Taeho was strong enough to walk. They took a shuttle to the Admiral's flagship, the Damascus. It was huge. A floating city in space. Thousands of people worked on board. Fighters launched and landed constantly. This was the heart of human defense. Admiral Minho Park met them in his office. He was older, maybe 60. Gray hair, tired eyes. But when he looked at them, Taeho saw respect. Real respect. Sit, please, Park said. You both have done humanity a great service. Lieutenant Hyejin, your courage and skill saved countless lives. And Commander Kang, welcome back. We have missed you. I am not a commander anymore, sir, Taeho said. Perhaps not officially, Park said. But you will always be a commander to those who served with you. And to those who admire what you did. He pulled up a display. It showed fleet positions, ship counts, resource allocations. The Velrothi are not our only problem. There are others, pirates, rogue colonies, and always the question of the unknown. Space is big. We do not know what else is out there. Sir, why are you telling us this? Hyejin asked. Because I have an offer, Park said. He looked at Taeho. I know you left the military because of Titan. I know you carry that weight. But hiding from it does not make it lighter. Using it to help others does. Taeho was silent. Park continued. I want you to return to active duty. Lead a squadron. Train new pilots. Be the commander you were always meant to be. I cannot, Taeho said quietly. I cannot watch more people die under my command. Then do not, Hyejin said. Both men turned to her. The Admiral is not asking you to send people to die. He is asking you to teach them to live, to survive, to come home, Park nodded. Exactly. The Apache fleet has a different philosophy. We do not seek glory. We seek survival. We fight smart. We use every advantage. And most importantly, we teach our people to come home. He looked at Hyejin. Lieutenant, you have shown exceptional skill. I am promoting you to full lieutenant and assigning you to our training program. You will teach scouts and infiltrators. Pass on what you know, Hyejin saluted. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Park turned back to Taiho. And you, Commander Kang. I am not ordering you. I am asking, help us. Not as a warrior. As a teacher. Show young pilots how to survive impossible situations, how to escape when escape seems impossible, how to be the ghost of Titan. Taiho thought about it. He thought about his old squadron. They had died. But they had died fighting. Protecting others. Was he honoring them by hiding? Or was he wasting what they had given him? He looked at Hyejin. She had lost her entire unit. 8 warriors. But she was still here, still fighting, still teaching. She carried her grief, but she did not let it stop her. What would the training involve? Taiho asked. Teaching survival, Park said. Escape tactics. Impossible flying. How to think under pressure. You would work with Lieutenant Hyejin. She knows ground combat and infiltration. You know space combat and flying. Together you could train a new generation of scouts. People who can go anywhere, survive anything, and come home. Taiho was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. I have one condition. Name it. I do not send anyone into battle. I teach them. I train them. But if they fly into danger, it is their choice. Not my order, Park smiled. That is exactly what I want, deal. They shook hands. Taiho felt something he had not felt in years. Purpose. Not the purpose of war. The purpose of protecting. Of teaching. Of helping others survive. Later, Taiho and Hyejin walked through the Damascus. They passed young pilots. Fresh faces. Eager eyes. Some saluted. Others just stared. Word had spread about the ghost of Titan and the Apache scout who stole invasion plans. Are you sure about this? Hyejin asked. Teaching is harder than fighting sometimes. I am sure, Taiho said. I spent 5 years running from my past. It did not help. Maybe facing it will. My grandmother used to say pain is like a fire, Hyejin said. You can let it burn you. Or you can use it to forge something strong. Your grandmother was wise, Taiho said. She was, Hyejin agreed. She survived the resource wars, watched her home burn, lost half her family. But she kept fighting. And when the war ended, she taught others to fight. She said the best way to honor the dead is to protect the living. They reached the training hangar. Inside were dozens of ships, all different types. Fast scouts, heavy fighters, even a few experimental craft. Young pilots worked on them, learning systems, practicing maneuvers. A young woman approached. She looked nervous. Excuse me, are you Commander Kang? Just Taiho, he said. What is your name? Subin, I am a cadet. First year, she hesitated. Is it true? Did you really ghost jump through a Velrothi flagship? Taiho glanced at Hyejin. She was trying not to smile. That is classified, he said. But if you did, Subin pressed. How? How did you know it would work? Were you not afraid? I was terrified, Taiho admitted. But fear is not the enemy. Giving up is, and I had someone I trusted in the cockpit next to me. That made all the difference. Lieutenant Hyejin? Subin asked. Yes, Hyejin said. But here's the real lesson. It was not about bravery. It was about trust. Commander Kang trusted me to calculate the jumps. I trusted him to execute them perfectly. Without that trust, we would have died. Subin nodded slowly. So the most important thing is finding the right partner. The most important thing is being the right partner, Taiho said. Be someone others can trust. Be skilled. Be reliable. Be willing to risk everything for your team. Do that and you will find others who do the same. More cadets gathered around. They had questions. So many questions. About flying. About combat. About fear. Taiho and Hyejin answered them all. And as they talked, Taiho realized something. This felt right. This felt like what he was meant to do. That night, Taiho stood alone in the observation deck. Through the window, he could see stars. So many stars. His old squadron was out there somewhere. Their atoms scattered across space. Part of the universe now, Hyejin joined him. She did not speak, just stood beside him. After a while, she said, I come here sometimes to remember my unit, the 8 who died for me. Do you ever stop feeling guilty? Taeho asked. No, she said honestly. But I learned to carry it differently. Not as a burden, as a reminder. They believed I was worth saving. The best way to prove them right is to keep living. Keep fighting. Keep protecting others. Your grandmother taught you that? She did. Right before she died. She was old, ready. She took my hand and said, the dead do not need our grief. They need our strength. Live well, fight smart. Come home, that is how you honor them. Taeho thought about that. Live well, fight smart. Come home, simple words. But powerful, thank you, he said. For what? For crashing on my planet. For trusting me. For reminding me why I used to fly. Hyejin smiled. Thank you for not leaving me in that storm. They stood together watching the stars. Tomorrow they would begin training. Tomorrow they would start teaching young pilots to survive. 6 months passed. Taeho and Hyejin worked together every day. They taught cadets how to survive, how to think under pressure, how to trust their instincts and their partners. The training was hard, but it was good work. Important work. Subin became one of their best students. She learned fast. She asked good questions. And most importantly, she understood that survival was not about being fearless. It was about being smart. One morning, Admiral Park called them to his office. His face was serious. Taeho knew that look. Something bad had happened. The Velrothi are moving, Park said without greeting. He showed them a star map. Red marks indicated enemy ships. Lots of them. They rebuilt faster than we expected. And they are coming in force. How many ships? Hyejin asked. Over 300. Maybe more. They are gathering at the border. Intelligence says they will attack in 2 weeks. Taeho studied the map. The Velrothi were positioning for a massive assault. Multiple targets. They wanted to overwhelm human defenses with sheer numbers. What do we have? He asked. 200 ships. Good crews. Good training. But we are outnumbered. Park looked at them both. I need your help. Not as teachers. As fighters, Taeho felt his chest tighten. He had agreed to teach. Not to fight. But looking at that map, seeing all those enemy ships, he knew the truth. If they lost this battle, there would be no one left to teach. What is the plan? Hyejin asked. We cannot match them in a straight fight, Park said. So we do not fight straight. We use what we are good at, speed, surprise, tactics. The Apache fleet will lead a strike force into their rear positions, disrupt their formation, create chaos, a raid, Taeho said. Hit and run, exactly. But it needs someone who can fly impossible missions, someone who has already done it. Park looked at Taeho. You. Taeho was quiet. Hyejin spoke instead. If he flies, I fly. We are a team now. Park nodded. I was hoping you would say that. You will lead a squadron of 12 ships, all volunteers, all trained by you. Your mission is to penetrate the Velrothi line and destroy their command ship. Without coordination, their fleet will fall into confusion. That is suicide, Taeho said flatly. Yes, Park agreed. It probably is. But if you succeed, you save millions of lives. If you fail, at least you tried. And trying is better than waiting to die. Taeho thought about his old squadron. 12 ships. Good pilots. They had died trying to save others. Was he willing to ask others to do the same? Was he willing to risk it again? He looked at Hyejin. She met his eyes. She was not afraid. She was ready. And he realized something. He was not sending people to die. He was giving them a chance to fight. A chance to make a difference. That was all anyone could ask. We will need the ghost jump technology, Taeho said. Already prepared, Park said. 12 ships. All equipped. But you only get 3 jumps per ship. Use them wisely. Who are the volunteers? Hyejin asked. Park showed them a list. Taeho recognized every name. They were his students. Young pilots he had trained. Including Subin. No, Taeho said. Not them. They are too young. They are the best we have, Park said. Because you taught them well. And they volunteered. Every single one. They want to fight. They want to prove themselves. Do not take that away from them. Taeho felt sick. But Park was right. These pilots had trained for this. They knew the risks. They chose this, just like his old squadron had chosen. When do we leave? He asked quietly. Tomorrow at dawn. Use today to prepare. And Taeho? Park stood and offered his hand. Bring them home. All of them. I will try, Taiho said. That is all anyone can do. That afternoon, Taiho met with his squadron, 12 young faces, nervous but determined. Subin was there, her eyes bright with excitement and fear. You all know the mission, Taiho said. It is dangerous. Many of us might not come back. If anyone wants to leave, now is the time. No shame, no judgment, no one moved. No one spoke. They were all staying. Good, Hijin said. Then listen carefully. We are not heroes. We are survivors. Our job is not to die bravely. Our job is to complete the mission and come home. Remember everything we taught you. Trust your training. Trust your wingmen. And most importantly, trust yourselves. They spent the rest of the day going over tactics. The plan was complex. They would jump to the edge of Velrathi space, then use the ghost jump drives to penetrate deep into enemy territory, strike the command ship, then jump out before the enemy could respond. Simple in theory. Nearly impossible in practice. But it was their only chance. That night, Taiho could not sleep. He walked to the hangar. His ship waited there. The Defiant Echo had been repaired and upgraded. It looked good. Ready for battle. Hyejin found him there. Cannot sleep either? Too many thoughts, he admitted. She nodded. My grandmother used to tell me a story. Before big battles, warriors would gather. They would sing songs, tell stories, laugh because they knew tomorrow they might die. So they made today count. Your grandmother was a warrior? One of the best. She fought in the resource wars, saw terrible things, lost people she loved, but she survived. And she taught me that survival is not about luck. It is about will, about refusing to give up. I'm afraid, Taiho said. Not for me, for them. Those young pilots. I taught them. I know them. If they die tomorrow, it is because I led them there. No, Hyejin said firmly. If they die tomorrow, it is because the Velrathi invaded. Because evil exists and good people have to fight it. You did not create this war, but you can help end it. She stepped closer. You taught those pilots well. They have a chance because of you. Without your training, they would have no chance at all. That is the difference you made. That is what matters. Taiho looked at her. How are you so brave? I am not brave, she said. I am just stubborn. I refuse to let fear win. I refuse to let the Velrathi win, and I refuse to let my people down. She smiled. Besides, I have a good partner. That makes being brave easier. Taiho smiled back. Yes, it does. Dawn came too quickly. The squadron assembled in the hangar. 12 ships, 12 pilots. All ready. Captain Youngji came to see them off. The fleet is counting on you, she said. Humanity is counting on you. But more than that, I am counting on you. Come back safe. All of you, they boarded their ships. Taiho settled into the pilot seat of the Defiant Echo. Hyejin took her place beside him. The controls felt good under his hands, natural. This was what he was made for. All ships report in, he said over the communication channel. One by one, his pilots responded, ready, eager, scared but determined. Just like he felt. This is it, Taiho said. Remember your training. Watch each other's backs, and no matter what happens, keep fighting. Because we are human, and humans do not give up. We never surrender. We protect our own. Let us show the Velrathi what that means. Yes, sir, came the chorus of responses. The squadron launched. 12 ships flying in perfect formation. They accelerated toward the jump point. Taiho felt his heart pounding. But it was not fear. It was anticipation. He was going back to war. But this time was different. This time he was not alone. They jumped. Space twisted around them. When reality settled, they were at the edge of Velrathi territory. And ahead, filling the view screen, was the enemy fleet. 300 ships. Maybe more. All armed. All dangerous. Target acquired, Hyejin said. Command ship at the center of the formation. How many ships between us and them? Taiho asked. About 50. Good odds, Taiho said with a grim smile. All ships activate ghost jump drives. Follow my lead. We go in fast. We hit hard. We get out alive. Understood? Understood. Taiho took a deep breath. Hyejin began calculating jump coordinates. Her fingers moved across the console like a musician playing an instrument. She knew this technology better than anyone. Coordinates set, she said. Jump in 3, 2, 1, now. The universe folded. The squadron disappeared from sensor screens across the Velrathi fleet. Alarms blared. Commanders shouted orders. But it was too late. 12 human ships materialized inside the enemy formation, right beside the command ship. The Velrothi had seconds to react. It was not enough. All ships, fire, Tejo ordered. Missiles and lasers filled space. The command ship's shields flared under the assault. But Ghost Squadron did not stop. They poured everything into their attack. Focused, relentless. The command ship tried to return fire, but its weapons were designed for long-range combat. At point-blank range, they could not track the fast-moving human fighters. Shields down, Hijin called out. Hitting the bridge now, Tejo fired. His weapon struck the command ship's bridge. Explosions rippled across the hull. The ship began to drift, dead in space. Its commander was gone. Its coordination was gone. All around them, the Velrothi fleet fell into chaos. Without orders, ships collided. Formations broke. It was exactly what they needed. All ships jump out, Tejo ordered. Mission complete. But then Subin's voice came over the channel. Panicked. My jump drive is not working. I am stuck. Tejo's blood ran cold. Velrothi fighters were closing in on her position. She was alone, defenseless. All ships jump now, he ordered. Hijin and I will get Subin. But sir, someone began. That is an order. Go, the squadron jumped. 11 ships vanished. Only the Defiant Echo and Subin's damaged fighter remained. Surrounded by hundreds of angry enemy ships. This is bad, Hijin said. Yes, Tejo agreed. But we do not leave people behind. Calculate a jump. Get us next to Subin. We will grab her with a tractor beam and jump. Out together. That will use our last jump charge, Hijin warned. Then we better make it count. The Ghost Squadron returned to the Damascus as heroes. The entire fleet celebrated. The mission had worked. Without their command ship, the Velrothi fleet had fallen into chaos. Human forces had pushed them back. The invasion was stopped. But Tejo did not feel like celebrating. He sat in the medical bay getting his wounds treated. A piece of shrapnel had cut his shoulder during the final jump. It hurt, but he barely noticed. He was too busy thinking about what could have gone wrong. Subin could have died. Any of them could have died. He had led them into danger. Yes, they all came home, but it had been close. Too close, Hijin found him there. She sat down beside him without speaking. After a while, she said, "You are thinking too much." Subin almost died, Tejo said. If her jump drive had failed 1 second earlier, we could not have saved her. But it did not, and you did save her. You risked your life to bring her home. That is what leaders do. I should have checked the jump drives more carefully. I should have— Stop, Hijin said firmly. Listen to me. You did everything right. You trained your people well. You led them bravely, and when one of them was in trouble, you went back for her. You cannot control everything. Sometimes equipment fails. Sometimes luck runs out. But today, everyone came home. That is what matters, Tejo looked at her. How do you do it? How do you lead people into danger without being afraid? I am always afraid, she admitted. But fear is not the enemy. Fear keeps us sharp, keeps us careful. The enemy is letting fear control you, letting it stop you from doing what is right. The door opened. Subin walked in. She looked nervous. When she saw Tejo, she saluted. Sir, I wanted to thank you for coming back for me. You risked everything. Tejo stood. You would have done the same for me. Yes, sir, I would. Because that is what you taught us. We do not leave people behind. We protect our own, she smiled. You are a good teacher and a good leader. Thank you for believing in us. After she left, Tejo felt something shift inside him. Maybe Hijin was right. Maybe he had done okay. His squadron had survived. They had completed their mission. And they had all come home. Admiral Park summoned them the next day. His office was full of high-ranking officers. Captain Youngji was there. So were commanders from other fleets. This was important. Commander Kang, Lieutenant Hyejin, Park said formally. On behalf of humanity, I thank you. Your actions saved millions of lives. The Velrothi invasion has been stopped. They are retreating back to their territory. The room erupted in applause. Tejo felt uncomfortable with all the attention. But he stood straight and accepted it. However, Park continued, this is not the end. The Velrothi will regroup. They will try again. We need to be ready. And that means we need more people like you. More teachers. More leaders. He pulled up a display. It showed plans for a new training facility. Much bigger than before. We are expanding the Apache Fleet Training Program. We want to train thousands of scouts, Pilots who can operate independently, think for themselves, survive anything. Will you lead this program? Taiho looked at Hyejin. She nodded slightly. He turned back to Park. Yes, sir. We will. Good, you will have full authority. Pick your staff, design your curriculum, build the best training program humanity has ever seen. Park smiled. I have faith in you both. You have already proven what you can do. Over the next few months, Taiho and Hyejin worked harder than ever. They built a school for warriors, not mindless soldiers but thinking fighters, people who could adapt, survive, win against impossible odds. Subin became one of their instructors. She taught new cadets about equipment maintenance, about checking systems, about the small details that could save your life. The program grew. Hundreds of cadets, then thousands. People came from all over human space to train. And slowly, humanity's defense became stronger. One evening, Taiho stood in front of a memorial wall. It listed the names of everyone who had died fighting the Velrathi. So many names, too many. But fewer than there would have been without people willing to fight. Hyejin joined him. She touched a section of the wall. Her 8 unit members were there, the ones who had died getting her off the Velrathi world. Do you ever stop missing them? Taiho asked. No, she said. But I learned to carry it differently. They are part of me now. Part of who I am. And everything I do in their memory. She looked at him. My grandmother used to say we carry our dead with us. Not as a burden, but as strength. They fought so we could live. Living well is how we honor them. Taiho thought about his old squadron. 12 brave pilots. For years he had seen them as a failure. His failure. But maybe that was wrong. Maybe they were his strength. His reminder of why fighting mattered. Why protecting others mattered. Thank you, he said. For what? For showing me that I could still make a difference. That my life still had purpose, Hyejin smiled. You always had purpose. You just needed to remember it. And I needed someone to help me complete my mission. We helped each other. Partners, Taiho said. Partners, she agreed. A year later, the training facility was at full capacity. Thousands of graduates had joined the fleet. The Velrathi had made small raids, but nothing serious. They had learned to respect human determination, human skill, human refusal to surrender. Taiho stood on a platform watching new cadets practice flying maneuvers. They were good. Really good. Better than he had been at their age. Because they had better training, better teachers, better examples. Hyejin stood beside him. We did this, she said. Built something that will last. You did this, Taiho corrected. You crashed on my planet. You trusted me. You gave me a reason to fight again. I needed shelter, Hyejin said with a smile. You gave me that. And so much more. You needed more than shelter, Taiho said. You needed a pilot, someone who could fly you through impossible situations. True, she admitted. But you needed something too. Purpose, direction, a reason to be the ghost of Titan again. They watched the cadets practice. One of them executed a perfect ghost jump. The technology was standard now. What had been experimental was now proven. Thanks to Taiho and Hyejin, humanity had a new weapon, a new advantage. Admiral Park approached them. I have news, good and bad. Give us the bad first, Taiho said. The Velrathi are gathering again. Bigger fleet this time. They will not make the same mistakes twice. And the good news? Hyejin asked. We are ready for them. Thanks to you, we have thousands of trained scouts, hundreds of ghost jump-equipped ships, and most importantly, we have the will to fight. The Velrathi think numbers will win, but we know better. Skill wins, strategy wins, determination wins. Park looked at them both. When the next battle comes, I want you two leading our forces, not from the front lines, from here, training the next generation, because that is where you do the most good. Taiho nodded. He understood. His fighting days were not over. But his role had changed. He was not a warrior anymore. He was a teacher, a builder, someone who created the future instead of just fighting for it. That night, Taiho could not sleep again. But this time it was different. He was not afraid. He was not haunted by memories. He was thinking about tomorrow, about the cadets he would train, about the lives he would save by teaching others to survive. He went to the observation deck. Stars filled the window. Somewhere out there, the Velrathi were preparing for war. Let them come. Humanity was ready. Hyejin joined him. She always seemed to know when he needed company. Cannot sleep? She asked. Too excited, he said. Strange, right? A year ago I was hiding. Now I am excited about training people to fight. Not strange, natural, you found your purpose again. That is worth being excited about. They stood in comfortable silence. After a while, Tejo said, "When you crashed on my planet, did you really come looking for me? Or was that luck?" Hyejin laughed. "Honestly, a little of both. I needed help. I knew your reputation, but I did not know if you would help me. I hoped. That is all we can ever do. Hope and try." "I am glad you hoped," Tejo said. "I am glad you tried, because you gave me my life back." "We gave each other our lives back," Hyejin corrected. "I was running, afraid, carrying the weight of my dead unit. You showed me that their sacrifice could mean something, that I could keep fighting, keep teaching, keep making a difference." "So we saved each other," Tejo said. "Yes, we did." The next morning, a new class of cadets arrived. Fresh faces, nervous energy, ready to learn, ready to become the next generation of human defenders. Tejo and Hyejin stood before them. Tejo spoke first. "Welcome to the Apache Fleet Training Program. My name is Tejo Kang. This is Lieutenant Hyejin. We are going to teach you how to survive, not just in combat but in life. Because surviving is not about being the strongest or the fastest. It is about being smart, being adaptable, being willing to learn," Hyejin continued. "You are here because you chose to protect others. That is noble. But nobility does not win battles. Skill does, training does, trust does. We will teach you all of these things. And when you graduate, you will be ready for anything." A young cadet raised his hand. "Sir, is it true that you ghost jumped through a Velrathi flagship?" Tejo smiled. "That is classified. But I can tell you this. If you pay attention, if you train hard, if you trust your partners, then one day you might do something just as impossible. Because impossible is